All right, all right, all right. So, how are you guys doing today?
We are doing good. Doing good. Having a great day.
Right, awesome. Yeah, it's like the second day of the week, getting at it, all that good stuff. You
Yes.
guys had a good weekend?
Very good. Very restful.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's been raining a lot here.
I know. Sunny out here today.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, we want to say thank you at ELIME for interviewing with us today and
Aw.
joining us. I had the pleasure of working with you guys before and knowing you guys a little bit, and like it's been amazing working with you guys. We had a photo shoot a couple of months ago to where I was able to be your muse, and got to see you guys have your mother daughter, you know, girl power and just do the thing, and it was amazing. It was great. Love the photos, and I loved seeing you guys work together. So I just wanted
Love
to
to do
ask,
it
like,
again, Mark.
Yes.
You're amazing. Well, next time I want to do much more macro. You just close up, tight headshots, and I just love. I've seen some of them with your hands. You're such a beautiful person. It's so
oh,
fun to
thank you.
photograph the beauty of your soul.
Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much. I
Shines through.
appreciate that. I try.
Aw.
You're an inspiration to
No,
us,
you
Mark.
guys are. You guys are. I just love working with, just creatives of all sorts. It's just fun, and especially after
Oh,
the pandemic of everything
yeah.
last year and going. I know like a lot of us, we just we're kind of like, down. We were kind of down for a bit, kind of sad, like a lot of like plans were kind of postponed, but it is what it is. And, we have to move forward. But,
Right.
working with you guys was so fun because like I didn't really create in a while since the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, and then I got to like work with you guys and take some photos, and it was just so fun. So
Oh.
it always makes me happy, and you guys are very talented.
Well, let's do it again. I
Yes.
love Zooming too. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
We can share the love even over Zoom.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Yeah, and it's also like another way of like us being able to show an audience like who we are as creatives. I feel like
Yeah.
some of us, we show our work, but sometimes people see our work, but they don't really know the creatives behind the work.
Absolutely.
You
I love
know,
the
and
idea.
sometimes it's kind of cool to know, like, oh, so this is the person, this is how they are personally, besides
Yeah.
on social media.
Oh.
Yeah, so could you guys tell me what inspires you guys, like, to create in general? Like, whoever wants to go first, or
Well, I think for us, I think it's the storytelling aspect of creating. It's sharing the stories of the very real people around us, the passions, what drives people, and kind of creating art that shows like what's in their soul.
love it.
Yeah, I come from a very artistic family, and back in the 70s, along with being a hippie, I was an artist. Picked up uh, photography very early, film photography in the 70s, and in college I was a photographer, and it's just been a love of my life. My degrees are in psychology, but my family is in marketing. They have a marketing firm, so I was raised in that environment. So um, I love using psychology in my artwork, but I just am such a hopeless creative, and so I've been creating all my life, starting in film in the '80s. So thanks for asking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's amazing because I love like just knowing what inspires people to create, because I feel like we all have, stories like Sarah, what you're saying, storytelling. Like that's how I am. Like as an actor, um, I just love telling stories. I love being a character. I love being able to tell other people's stories, and it's just fun, like even taking photos, like whenever I did that shoot with you guys a few months back, I was a character, and it's,
Right.
it's, it's, it's some form of storytelling. So
Yeah.
that's what I love. You know, um, I've been wondering this, like, could you guys kind of like tell me like, how's it for you, like navigating like in this industry as women, in this male dominated industry?
It's certainly been interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I'm from California,
Yes.
and was in business in California, and I think that, of course, women in business back in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, when I was working in the more executive roles, it was a new thing, but I think that there was real respect, and that, we're all creative, but we need each other.
Yes.
And so it's important, and I think everybody recognized that. Once I married and had Sarah, she was very creative, and so I spent a lot of time, just enjoying photography and filmmaking with her all throughout her years. And so I put my career aside, and we just had girlfriend fun. We just, oh my goodness, because we're both so creative and collaborating together. And then it was about 6 years ago, we started our business and really taking it out and making it a career. And so establishing the administrative side, that's something I've never done. I've been the director, I've been the producer, but it was always in a company setting. And so I find that somewhat of a challenge in a man's world. I don't think that sometimes we're taken as seriously as if it were a father and a son. A lot of times I'm called mom, and there's just some misunderstanding that we're two adults, very highly skilled adults, and that we make a living doing this. It's a lot of people may misunderstand and think we're just doing it as a career. So that's been a challenge. But we've been working with an attorney on establishing our LLC, which we have established. And
awesome.
Just, I think that a lot of that, again, me being from a marketing background, is realizing how women may be perceived as not needing that income. And maybe, there's a lot of requests, okay, we can make them discount it, to a certain extent and stuff, even though we have an extremely high quality films that we're making. But I think a lot of that is also on our back as far as marketing is concerned, to see, a perceived value. We're putting together a whole new website right now. We've held off on releasing it because of COVID. We wanted it just as the industry just comes right back open, and it will. There's going to be a lot of catch up that needs to be done. And so we're waiting until a certain moment. We've changed the name. It was Sarah Massey Films, and now we're going to Massey Filmworks.
There you go.
And we worked with a professional design team to do that logo, and we're really excited. Now, Mark, you're going to be in the website. That's what we were
I'm
doing.
excited. Yeah, you guys.
I was doing the photography of Mark, and he's a businessman downtown, looking really cool. And then Sarah was doing a video coming up behind us, doing a video of me doing the photography, which is, for the video and I mean, for the website. So that's going to be really cool, but we're really excited about that. So I think even though all of us have certain limitations and certain challenges in our businesses, I don't think any challenge is insurmountable. And I think that marketing is so key to communicating how you want to be treated, and also having that quality of a product.
Right. You have to show them what you're working with, right? You have to show them what you have to offer. And then, like you said, marketing is very, potent and essential, because it's like you want, like, especially like with you guys as women, you need to, like, it sucks that you have to prove, who you are. But at the same time, it is what it is. You have to just demand, in this world. It's just the way the world operates, unfortunately. But,
Yeah, it's interesting, because in my own head, I guess I don't think of myself as a female filmmaker. I'm like, I want to be a filmmaker. I want to create. And then, you just notice like subtle treatment differences, and you're like, maybe somebody doesn't take you as seriously, or, we've had people shoot down our ideas and then repropose them as their own. And it's like, and you certainly learn to be assertive. You have to learn to be assertive in this industry. And so that's been a good, like, confidence booster. but, you know, I think we have to stay true to our vision, you know, no matter what, you know, hurdles we have to go over. You know, we're here to create art and tell stories, and we have to let that passion come forward, even though there is a fight to be heard. And especially in a world where, like, between like YouTube and Vimeo and all these streaming platforms, there's so much oversaturation of content. You have it's not about, you know, like sensory overload. It's about, you have to like focus on that story, what makes your story unique, what makes you unique.
And make no mistake, this is a highly competitive field.
Very.
However, when you show talent and you can showcase that, it does really attract the eye. And I was watching a video this morning talking about adversity. And you know, there can be an offense, or there can be a holding back from that adversity. But actually, if you use that just like a pilot does when he's taking off from an airport, he wants to go into the wind, and that lifts him up.
I like
and if we take whatever that challenge is, whatever that, you know, part of me, and we're all human. We all have weaknesses and limitations and challenges, but if we can fly into those and let them come under our wing and make us a better person, then it becomes a benefit.
Right.
I really love that.
Yeah, no, me too. Like you were saying earlier, Sarah, when it comes to like you not feeling like a female filmmaker, I love that comment because I feel like people need to get over the whole like you have to be a female to do this or a male to do this, or like, you know, always having some type of title or label or role. And sometimes we need to just accept people for themselves and their, you know, arts and their, you know, creative level and their storytelling, and not put a label on it. And that's very important, you know?
Yeah. And I think there's not enough female directors in this industry, really. And I'm always so proud of the ones like, is it Greta Gerwig who directed Little Women? And I love her films so much. She's an actress as well, and she just has this touch, this perspective that I love so much. But you know, despite the difficulties, you know, I always think like, well, if not me, then who? Because, you know, this industry, it's harder for women to break in as directors and executives, I think, producers. But, you know, every bit of work that we do, every time we make a difference and show people, hey, we're women, but we can do this, it paves the way for other women to come along.
Right.
So every little hurdle we cross, we're pioneers, you know? So,
learning how to collaborate with others.
Exactly.
You know what, Mark? We all need each other. We need you. You know, and we love to work with other creatives.
Because it's like life, we have to, you know, and especially with storytelling, it's one of those things to where, you know, you don't want to just tell a story about just like one person all the time. You want to be able to like kind of like tell stories that everyone can relate to. So, you know, there are different backgrounds. And so that's why we need different creatives to work and come together and just make it come alive.
I love that.
Well, you know, being from California and living in LA and working in LA, nobody is an island themselves. You know, when they're producing these large films, you're bringing in so many different creatives and not depending on yourself. And the more creatives you bring in to fill in all those different facets are what make those movies beautiful.
Yes. Hey, so Ruth, how would you describe your transition from being all the way in California to being in the South? Especially like, well, in the industry, but as well as, you know, living personally as well. Well, not personally, but, you know, film-wise. How would you describe?
You know, of course, and over the last 5 years, this is changing. But there's a very firm foundation in California. You know, we've been doing films for, you know, ever since TV and film started, it was done in California. And therefore, you're going to have many, many creatives there. and to collaborate with and to make these incredible ideas. And I think that probably there's more being used to collaborating together and more opportunities here. I think a lot, especially like in the Augusta, of course, we're talking about this area. It's new. It's in infant form, and I think that there's a lot of maybe different companies doing different things and not as much collaboration together. I think that as the industry is moving into Atlanta. I mean, it has moved into Atlanta, and so you have a tremendous amount of creatives there. And I think that because the projects have been small, that's one reason there's been limited collaboration. But I think that as it moves more in this direction, and we can all get our heads together and become creative, then it's going to boom here. And I really don't want it to be people moving into the area. I want to get together and collaborate with you guys, with all the creatives here. It will benefit all of us. There's more than enough work to go around. Me being from a marketing background, I understand that. There is more than all of us can do together. I think maybe a marketing perspective, is a good mix in with this, and understanding how to promote and get to the businesses. But, like a film, wouldn't that be fun if we all got together? Of course, Southeastern Filmmakers is wonderful. That's how we met, you and Eli. And kudos for everyone involved with that, because I think that's where our future is together.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. And it's funny how you say that, because I remember like a few months back saying, I wish that somehow we could all get all the different groups and creatives together and just say, hey, let's come together and create like some big film or something, and like let's just all just be included, whether you want to be behind the scenes, on camera, and make it work and make it this big thing. Because a lot of the traffic, like you said, is coming to Atlanta, but as well as Augusta. So it'll be a great idea. So maybe we just cross our fingers.
Well, I think what you're doing right now in beginning to interview people and bring this out and expose the different areas, we can all really evaluate where we could fit together like this. I really appreciate what you and Eli are doing.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, it's ELIME, we're just trying to figure out different ways of, just talking with everyday creatives. That's what we're about. We just don't want to focus on specifically just, actors, musicians and writers and things like that, but everybody. So we're just trying to include everyone, so everyone feels like, they have a voice, because sometimes I feel like some of us feel like, we're creative, but we feel like we don't have a voice, at least, so sometimes it's like what Sarah said earlier about being assertive, it kind of I feel like these interviews will kind of help, people let people know who they are. So once people know who you are a little bit, you won't really mind speaking out and letting them know who you are when you see them.
We have so much incredible talent in this area. Oh, yeah. We really do. And not only that, I need to understand the knowledge. I don't have the same knowledge you do. Right. And the knowledge you do have is very valuable.
Yes, we can all learn from each other.
Exactly. Teamwork.
Yeah, like Sarah. So, see, because you do behind the scenes photography, you do a lot of things, but you're also into acting, and that's the thing, I like to act too. So that's where eventually we need to get together and it doesn't happen, right? And that's, I can learn things from you, acting wise. I know I can learn things and methods from you that I probably don't even know about at all.
Oh my gosh, I want this to happen.
Yeah, I'm currently taking an acting class through Stella Adler over Zoom, which is a wonderful thing about the one little silver lining to COVID, which has been a horrible event, but is that education is more available to people that I can't fly out to LA to their LA branch and attend the class, but I'm able to study from an LA director who's teaching us acting technique, and I could have never done that before. But something he was saying is that you never stop learning. There's no actor out there. Take every single Oscar award winning actor, every Oscar award-winning director, and they never stop learning and growing.
Yes.
And, you know, I just think like every single person I work with, I learn something from. I learn from their mistakes. I learn from things they teach me. I learn from my mistakes.
Yes.
I think people get afraid to make mistakes in front of each other. But we were working on a recent project, and we were working at Indie Grip Studio in Augusta.
Oh, nice.
And with Terrence, and there was we wanted to do an effect with the camera, and he had some rigging, and I didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, I feel a little awkward being like, oh, I don't know what this is. But he was so kind and would show me how to use it, and by the end of the thing, we had created this beautiful shot and brought this whole concept to life. And that just meant so much to me that he took the time to kindly explain it to me instead of being like secretive or judging me. He was like, let me show you, let's work together. And I'm like, I love this spirit. I want more of this.
Right? No, I love Terrence. He actually helped us do the lighting for the Shed Prelude, the little slasher short that we did, last year. And just, well, anytime working with Terrence, like you said, whether it's working at going to Indie Grip or whether, we're on set somewhere or just, anybody like that, they're always so helpful. And I know like with the lighting, we had some issues the first time with like shooting it with the lighting. And I remember we had to call Terrence, and it's nothing that we had to just be like, we didn't have to hassle him. We didn't have to like get anything out of him. Like, hey, Terrence is just like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. I got this. Bam. What's your issue? And it's so funny though, because whenever we were talking like on set about like certain issues, Terrence would just be sitting there listening to us. And and I'll be like, why are you just like staring like that? And then he said, I'm just trying to figure out what you guys need. And then next thing I know, bam, it's done.
Got it.
I was having to ask,
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to have people that, are very...
Parents can turn an absolute nightmare into heaven in about 20 minutes. You guys that are watching, if you have a project, I highly recommend Indie Grip and Terrence. They are amazing.
Yes. It was funny because we were doing this dramatic music video setup, and the idea was there's just a black backdrop, black floor, and then we have our singer, our dancer, and our pianist.
Nice.
And they're backlit, so there's like these gorgeous lens flares behind them, almost like a halo outlining them. And so we're getting the shot set up, and I'm like, the lens flares aren't quite doing what I wanted them to do. And I was like, gee, you know what would be cool? Too bad we don't have a smoke machine. And Terrence just stops and goes, a smoke machine? Sure. He just pulls one out.
Terrence will make it happen.
They'll make it happen at Indie Grip. They have this big, nice location with so many different things that you would have never even thought about. The many times we've shot, things there, I'm just like, every time I go, there's something new that I'm learning about. I'm like, oh, so this is what this does. So this is how you get this to work on set. This is how you get this video to look like this. So it's pretty cool.
The way that he manages the set and the safety issues is just impeccable.
Awesome.
That's
cool.
What
So like I know
you can just lean back on and they got your back.
Yeah. So I wanted to go in. I know you guys like mentioned storytelling with creating, but an interesting question. Do you guys have like a certain type of art that you focus on more than any other art?
Like style of video that we create?
Yeah, well, just anything, whether it's like just creating, whether it's acting, music writing, film, like, is there like, what is kind of like a safe haven in general? Like, let's say like you guys are like alone and you just want to create. Is there anything like as simple as being home and writing or just taking pictures in your backyard? Like, is there anything that really just you find bliss at more than any other talent or,
We both love, the photography as a hobby.
Yes.
Photography has been my hobby, my whole life, and Sarah picked it up, so that's a camaraderie hobby. We love editing.
Yeah.
As far as filmmaking is concerned, we like a new challenge. So, we have these things that we've done. Love documentaries. They're always a challenge because your topic and the people that you're working with are so varied. So yeah, I think probably documentaries are, we love a documentary. We work really well together, seamlessly on documentaries, but like give us a music video, those are always new and different too.
A challenge I really want to take up, I have some friends that are very, very talented in dancing.
Oh, nice.
And excuse me. And so we've been chatting for a while about when it gets a little warmer outside, planning some dance videos. That's something I'd love to do because it's very movement based. Like you have to choreograph the camera movements with the dancer as well. So literally I almost feel like every single project we do, we're always like, oh, this is new. Wait, we've never done this before. And it's always like a challenge, and they build on each other so that like the next project you go to, you're like, oh, we've already worked with this lighting setup or this, so we know that. Now what's the next thing we can do? Yeah.
We always want to make it beautiful.
Yes.
And cutting edge. And we do a lot of research. We research into the intended audience. And we want to make it extremely high quality, and that's fun. It's a bar we set very high ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's a celebration when we achieve it.
Yes.
Okay, so where do you guys see yourselves, like, if you could, in the next 5 years? I feel like, life is subjective, and you never know where it's going to go, but right here, right now, where do you guys see yourselves in the next 5 years as creatives?
I would love to move more towards Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Ultimately, like I want to go to Atlanta and then maybe out towards LA, but I know the competition is fierce. So I think it's important. Something I tell myself all the time is enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love, like, I have some friends that are involved in the acting world of Atlanta, and I'm kind of moving out in that direction myself, and they love the collaborative spirit there, and the fact that, that world is so close to Augusta, and, we have a lot of projects from Atlanta moving towards Augusta as well, so I just love seeing that kind of sprout up here in the South, and I want to get more involved.
Yeah, so we have dual businesses. One is a filmmaker, and the other is Sarah is a very talented actress.
Yeah.
Film actress. She is profound, and she's doing professional training and really wants to get involved with that.
Yes.
So if any of you out there are listening and you're doing a project, she's amazing.
No, we're gonna make something happen, Sarah. We need to.
Yes.
I've been meaning, I want to, I feel like I'm, working on our series for the Shed series that'll come out later this year. We're working on that. But other than that, I know there are a couple of shorts that I want to do and some ideas I have in my head that I want to write and film. So we definitely have to collab and,
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, but I just want to thank you guys for interviewing with us at ELIME. We really appreciate it. This is like our first year doing this. So it's our little baby, and we're just trying to get in the group of things. And, of course, I know there'll be more times to where we'll, talk with you guys, interview, and all that good stuff.
Well, it's such an honor. Thank you for thinking of us.
Yeah. Is there anything that you guys would want to say to the audience? Any last words or anything before we end this interview? And you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I know for a lot of smaller filmmakers, this has been a really, really hard time with COVID. I know bigger productions are able to, find workarounds and work with CDC guidelines and stuff, but for smaller filmmakers, it's just been really, really hard, even to find studio spaces to do projects.
Yeah.
But if I can just extend as much encouragement and positive vibes to those people, keep going towards that passion, towards that goal, even though it's hard. And I know, right at the beginning, you know, when we first got involved with the film, you feel like you have so many balls to juggle. You gotta be the videographer and the editor and the you know, storyboard artist, and it's like, but always keep your passion and your goal like in front of you, even when the time gets hard. Remember why you love doing what you're doing, and remember that we only can succeed with each other. Teamwork is so important. Bring your close friends together, bring your peeps together, and ask them for advice. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Because we can only succeed together.
Well said. I felt every bit of that. Like as a creative, I have to remind myself, I have so many different like interests of things I want to do. And sometimes I'm like, I want to do this. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to put more attention into this. But at the end of the day, I told myself to enjoy the journey. So with you saying that, I love that. And that's something I always want to, you know, promote and remind, you know, creatives or anybody, you know, go with your passion, go with what feels right, you know, for you, and just go after it, you know? And how about you, Ruth?
Oh, I was just going to ask you, because I'm brand new to your program.
Yeah.
Who is the targeted audience? Are you going to the creatives or how are you going?
Creatives, everyday creatives. So basically, it's not even just in the film community, photography, music. It's like we can have chefs, you know, cooks, dancers, just anybody, you know, it's the everyday creative, you know, and this is what we are focusing on, like the everyday creatives, because imagine like I was telling someone the other day that didn't really know much of my back history of like, I came from like a small town and I know I never really had many like resources. And as everyday creative, like I knew people like who were creative, but there weren't like a lot of people who took like acting serious or like singing and things like that. So I never really opened up a lot to a lot of people. So what we want to do here is have like anybody, like recently we went to a opening for Alexandra Johnson. She does photography in Augusta, Love Ali Studios. Her and her husband, Daniel Johnson, they open like a space that they share with other creatives. And they do like, you know, different forms of photography. And so basically they had this couple who has like exotic animals and things like that.
Wow.
And it's kind of like we want to redefine the word creative, you know, basically. Like, especially with exotic animals, you have people who like do like different tricks. Like I held a snake for the first time, but that was so cool. But you know, like there are people who like have like snakes and they like to wrap them around their arms and do creative photography like that, you know? And that's a different way of collabing, you know, with different people, you know, like imagine somebody wants to face their fear of being scared of like a tarantula, which they also had. And so basically they also offer that to where, you know, you can do a shoot with a tarantula, like, you know, frogs, snakes, you know, etc. And things like that. And just, you know, make it come to life, basically. Yeah. So basically we just focus on the everyday creatives.
Oh, that's great. You were asking for anything that we wanted to say, and I just wanted to make sure who I was talking to. I really love speaking to the audience, what Mark and ELIME are doing as far as presenting creatives. It would be fun, you know, since we're all becoming very inept, and is that the right word? Anyway, we're becoming very comfortable with Zoom.
No, me too. As you see, I kind of stumble a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because during the COVID, I think everybody, you know, having the masks and stuff, we've been talking about it's kind of hard to remember names or things. I mean, it really has affected us all mentally.
Yes.
This has been a lot of stress. And also it's inhibited our ability to connect together. But being from California and seeing how they do that, there's many groups that are think tanks in California.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, and as you guys have so many different facets of creativity, it would be wonderful that since we're all comfortable with Zoom, I'm not volunteering, but ELIME may want to do this, is to talk about a project and have everybody from every facet that may be interested in that to come together for a think tank and look at it from many, many different perspectives. And, you know, with integrity, no one's stealing each other's ideas, but we really are better together, and it would be wonderful to be able to do that, and it would bless all of us. And, you know, even if, and I don't know, this is kind of being from California, the way you look at it, it wouldn't matter if we came with one idea and had a think tank and everybody got ideas and did 4 different projects with different people grouping together. No one would be stealing an idea. It's kind of like in art class when you have the nude in the middle of the class and everybody's or the sunflower, whatever it is you got in the middle of the class, and you got 40 students around that object painting it, and no 2 paintings are going to look the same. Well, unless you do one as a photographic identical to people. But what I'm saying is there's room for all of us.
Yes.
And when we come together, those artworks will be even more beautiful. So I really commend the ELIME project for doing this.
Yes.
It's an honor to be a part, and it's food for all of our souls to come together, especially right now on Zoom. And so I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and want to support you in any way. And look forward to talking to everybody.
We really appreciate you guys. But thank you so much for all of your kind words, for interviewing with us. And this was a wonderful interview. I will say that. And I'm looking forward to the future, working with you guys, and, you know, seeing you guys create more and whatever may just pop up online.
Aw, thank you.
It's always a pleasure to work with you, and your friendship means so much to us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Same, likewise. All right, I appreciate you guys, and like we like to say, keep creating. All right.
You.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Later. See ya.
Bye.